This is part 2 of Subaru Outback stereo upgrade, and we're using TIs or TIs, not sure how to pronounce the brand. In the first video we upgraded the stereo. Now we're gonna work on installing the backup camera. Initially I was planning on using existing original wiring. I spent several hours of researching what wire goes where, and I thought I would be doing that. But I want to install the backup camera the way that you can turn it on while driving forward as well. And I believe if you're using original wiring, you won't be able to do that. Also, splicing into original wiring won't be easy because connector over there inside behind the stereo, there is not much room to splice wire in. It's doable, but it's not too easy. And I'm not sure yet how much clearance there is on original wiring right here. I'm gonna start by pushing the stereo out, have access for the cables, and then I'm gonna route wire through there. I believe that's the one that goes to the back, but I could be wrong. I didn't do the actual testing here. But again, not too much room, doable, but not too much room to work on wiring here. And also, if you use original wiring, you're gonna have to get extra RCA cables, splice them into original wires. It's just too much work where actually pushing wires through the car to get to the back, I think it's not gonna be that tough. So this is open. Now I'm gonna open this one. I'm gonna do the same thing here. To remove glove box, there's a screw right here, Phillips, and here. Push on two sides and it comes off. It's also a good time to check your AC filter. Very dirty, so I'll replace that as well. I'm gonna also remove this since it's pretty easy to take off. It'll help me feed wire through there. Doesn't really matter which side you keep up front, which one of the camera, but this smart, this one says AC/DC reverse mode control. So this is staying at the stereo. This one says camera power 12 volt and car reversing light 12 volt. So this goes to the back. So on this side you'll just have yellow, I think, video cable, red ACC, and yellow reverse mode control. Got here so far, and I'll try to push it further so it's inside. It was tough pushing wire through it here, so I took this one out. It's just a plastic clip right here. Now we have a good clearance here. Definitely not easy. Unfortunately broke a couple of those tabs, but should still hold fine. Had to pry this out. Got this one out more to get the RCA cable. Now I'll keep going towards the back. Now we're gonna try to figure out how to get cable behind here. I pried this out, and here's a Phillips screw. Phillips screw there too. Under this cover, another one. I'm sure there'll be one here too. I'm not sure if I needed to remove this one too. Maybe not now, but I'll need it for subwoofer installation later on. I'm gonna take this out. Think I got enough room here. Now through this opening I'm gonna push that cable. I decided to use fish tape here. It'll be a little bit easier than pushing wire through. Even though you don't need that much there, you might be able to push some other wire from here or just push RCA cable through. It's not that far. The tape attached to fish tape broke. I was able to just reach it from here. Now I'm gonna try to push the cable through here. And since I have camera on this side, I'll use backup camera on this one. I'll lift this. On this. Now I'll try to get this from here. That was tough, but I got one of them up and I'll use that to get the rest. Got the rest, but it's not over yet. It's gonna be kinda tough, but I'm gonna push this RCA cable through here. As you can see, there is not much room, but I'll do my best. Gonna put a bit of silicone lubricant here, a little bit there. Hopefully it'll make it easier. So I can't shoot this whole process because I don't have a mount here, stand mount or whatever, tripod. So I'll show you just a couple steps. As you can see, it's almost out. Using silicone lubricant definitely helped. And it looks like supplied cable is not long enough for this vehicle, so I'm gonna have to order 3 feet or so extension. But now I'll remove this panel, push cable through and get it from probably here. Now I can close this one and this one. Looks good. Let's put 2 zip ties here, cut off the excess, but that just to keep the RCA cable going with that cable. Just looks a little bit better. Now I'm gonna put this back. Now I'm gonna put screw here and here. Gonna be those type. And actually, before I put in those two, I think I have to put this in. Actually, it doesn't really matter which order, looks like, but still. Now, when I'll be doing subwoofer installation, I'm gonna have to do this all over again, but it's alright.
It's your car.
This side is good. Now let's work on the front one. Actually, before putting one here, I'll put this piece back. Now this piece back. Looks good here. I ordered the replacement and I'll work on it next time, probably when I'll be installing subwoofer, but for now I'll put the old one back in. I'll put glove box back on. Just 2 screws at the bottom. Now I'm gonna remove this piece and this piece. I think I'll just pry it out and it should come off. Yep. I think we have to remove this panel, which is very easy. And same thing on this side. So far I actually don't see anything here that we need to remove. It's more for bulb replacement. I just pried this open. It looks like it's just plastic clips. So far I don't see anything else here. Let's see how other side gonna go. Have to figure this out. So I looked through here and you could see that there is a screw, which I think it's under this cover. That was tough to pry it open. I had to use a pick tool. I think everything comes out. Only thing holding it in place is this one right there. I'll just pull it down more. Here is camera. I'm gonna see if I remove those 2 nuts, what I'll be able to remove with that. It's a 8mm nuts. Enough room to get there with 3/8 ratchet and sockets. So I loosen it. and camera, nothing still moves. So we definitely have to do much more than that. I'm gonna disconnect this camera. Since the camera is still working, I might sell it online later on. Now I'll remove this one, this one. Now I will remove this cover. Same thing on this side. Gonna remove two right there. Actually, there are three total. Through here, here, and here. So remove those two. Now I'm gonna take off this one, and this one, on this side, three right here, and finally here, those two. I think all nuts are off. Maybe there's some more, but I don't see any yet. We disconnected the camera, but we're gonna also have to disconnect the lights and probably this switch here. I see two connectors here, so I feel like that's for those. Got those off. This one was pretty easy. With a flathead, you push right here, like right there, it comes off. This one was a bit tougher. This one I had to push screwdriver through here, and then it came off. I looked through everything again, and I don't see anywhere else where a nut would be installed, so I'll try to take it out now. Also, my advice, put a decent sized towel here, so that when you close the hatch, you will be able to open it again instead of connecting connectors, trying to get it up. It is really tough, don't pry too much. I just broke here. I'm gonna use JB Weld plastic to fix this. That was something. Okay, so we have this camera now. That's what we're gonna remove. And actually I already unscrewed those nuts from inside, so it should come off by itself. I'm gonna try to keep original mount. And I'll try to use the same gasket thing here. I'm gonna remove this connection. And I'll remove those two. And this one I'll remove those two screws. You can also work on the ground for the camera. Supplied cable for power and ground. And I'm gonna secure ground right here. And what I did is I cut this to make it bigger. Hopefully it'll fit right there. For the positive, I'll just use this crimp connector. That should be okay. In case it's not, it's very easy to remove this piece and replace connection. Still waiting on a yellow video cable RCA, but for now I got most of other stuff done here. Decide to wire like this. Here I connected to the reverse light, a yellow wire that goes from there. I used a posse connector here. And the reason I decided to do it right here is just because there is an opening for bulb replacement, so in case there'll be any issues, I could always fix this. Since I was short on wire, I added yellow wire right here. Same thing, in case there is issues here, I'll be able to remove this piece and this. I don't have to remove everything else. Another connection I did is right here, the ground, same thing, easy to reach. And another one right here, again, easy to reach. So this piece is pretty much done. Power wire gonna go to the camera, backup camera gonna be here. Here's a plug, so pretty close, should be more than enough to reach it. And the yellow video cable, when it's arrived, we'll see if I'll route it through here. Might not be long enough through here, I'll probably do it through here as well. Got to use a drill, and what I end up doing is, this is existing hole. The screw kind of small, but looks like it's still staying there. Had to drill a small hole here and a bigger hole here so that wire has a room. Now I have no idea if this is good enough. I'm gonna do testing. If not, I still have a bracket, this one, where I might connect in between for more adjustments, but hopefully it'll work like this. I got 3 feet RCA cable. Seemed a little bit short for my needs, but I'll still make it work. So instead of having camera connection somewhere here, it's gonna be right here. So that's gonna be from the camera. So this is gonna be from vehicle. and camera, I'm gonna go through here and connect in this area. So actually from vehicle, that's gonna be the line for backup camera. As you can see, it's enough room for the camera. And I'm gonna use this coupler right here. Now I'm gonna use zip ties all around to secure this area. I'm gonna tighten those some more once I know for sure I'm not doing more adjustments. Doesn't look too nice, but I think it's good enough. I like that this just perfect for this connection and it's not moving around, so I don't think it's gonna unplug. Again, if this is gonna mess up, there'll be any issues with this one or even this one. This panel comes off very easy. And connection for the camera right here, which is also coming off really easy if I have to change something. Now I plugged in the camera and I'm gonna work up front connecting the cables to the stereo. By the way, I decided to secure the camera with a nut just to make sure when I'll be doing the testing, the angle is gonna look just like it would when everything is secured here. Here's the cable that I ran. RCA video cable. Gonna go to this one, it says camera in. It's a cable that has two antennas on it as well. Now I have to find two other connections. One of them is reversing mode control and the other one is accessory. And there are plenty of instructions on the stereo manufacturer website. It says exactly how to connect backup camera, so I already plugged in the camera video cable and shows where to get accessory and rear camera control connection. So on the main connector, pin 3 is accessory, pin 5 is a rear camera control connection. Decided to disconnect the main connector just to make it easier to track the cables. So the red one, accessory, and it's pretty easy to follow this cable, see where it ends up. It's kind of nice that the color stays the same and it even mark here accessory. So what I'm gonna do is I'll cut right here and this is gonna be accessory. Reverse camera control. It's gonna be this, I guess, brown color. I traced that brown cable and looks like it's coming here on the top. That's this orange and black lines, but on this side there is no wires, so it's just blank. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut cable on the beginning of this connector and make connections here. Accessory is done. Now the reverse one. Time to put this in and test it. Check with multimeter and post connector I used before. This is too big for that wire, so I use a smaller one. Let's check again. Okay, good. I'm gonna drive for a bit to see if it's good enough. I do like that there are settings here and even line settings. Forgot that I have a tape on a camera lens. Wow, the quality is perfect. That's crazy how clean it is. Other thing you could try to do is, instead of having it like this, put this in the middle. Advantage of using something like this is, in case camera breaks down, you can just unscrew those two and remove the camera, get replaced. But if this breaks down, I have to do pretty much the whole panel out again. But then I'm not sure though, if you have this, you'll be able to pull the camera out this way, but I'm not sure if the gasket, everything else gonna make it very tough for the wires to come out. So yeah, I'll just do it this way. I'm gonna put this through, see if I'll be able to push cables through here with no issues. Okay, one is in. Okay, good. By looks of it, it would be very tough, even if you could unscrew the camera to take those cables out. I'm gonna put the zip tie here again, and it's ready to go back. It actually goes like this. As you can see, I fixed this. Hopefully it'll hold it good. And unfortunately I lost at least one clip. Broke. Maybe something else is missing. Hopefully it's gonna work. If it's not, I'm gonna have to redo it. I'm gonna try to be gentle with this, especially in this area where I broke those. Gonna push those connectors through the hole. Okay, now I'm gonna try to put it all in. Okay, it looks like it's all went in. Now I'm gonna secure a bunch of 8mm nuts all around, and actually before I do that, I'm gonna connect those two so that the latch system is working properly. So it looks like I lost one of the threads, fell off, and one or two broke in those plastic trim pieces. My advice, knowing what I do now, if you're gonna replace the same thing, just in case get one or two threads and one or two of those plastic trim pieces from dealership. I'm not gonna bother now, because from what I see, looks pretty good. I don't think there are gonna be any issues. Okay, that piece is secured and everything wired up here. Now I'll put this piece back on. I'll do it on two sides. Now I'll put the main piece here back on. Little miscalculation here, as you can see. So if you're doing this, probably here would be a better place for this, or here. But either way, even from here, I'll be able to reach where I need to reach, and from this side as well. Secure this one, put one right here. Put Phillips screw right there. I'm very disappointed at backup camera quality. I didn't like the angle, so I started taking everything apart. And I noticed this housing in the back already broken. Maybe user error, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna figure this out. I really don't like this angle. I don't like that it's far from center. I think I'm gonna just move either this camera or get another camera and put it in this one. It'll be much closer to the center. I got some parts, so now we can continue. So not only that I didn't like the way this camera was directing, it goes way too low. I don't like that it's away from center. I couldn't find a good solution to put something right on center, but I found this about 25 bucks or so. It's gonna go right here, which is still not in the center, but a bit closer. Now I could be wrong, but I think the camera angle is not as low. Now this type of mount is pretty good, but the camera is way too cheap, so I'm gonna replace this camera. What I like with this one is it has two bolts here, so you can easily replace the actual camera. I thought about using this one, but since the housing is cracked, I messaged TAS or TIs to see if warranty would cover it, and I did not get a response. But since I really like their image quality, I ordered another one. I'm gonna remove those two screws. I'm gonna remove those two screws from this camera, and I'm gonna use those screws because they came in with this. Make sure don't over tighten here. Now this is ready to go for installation. Now I'm gonna again remove all these trim pieces for good access. Now I'm gonna remove those two Phillips screws. So after looking around, it seemed like installation is gonna be kind of complicated because only two connections or two openings are this one from camera and this one for the tag light, this switch and this switch. The tag light I'm gonna have to tap into, I believe, this one Gonna have to figure out which one's positive, which one's negative. And camera, I'm gonna be using this opening. And since I'll be using this opening, figure I'll remove this camera now. I don't know yet if I'll be able to remove it without completely removing this whole trim piece. Maybe I'll be able to just loosen it. I'm gonna remove those two nuts. So now I loosen all 8mm nuts and removed those two here and those two here. I'll try to remove this piece. I end up removing also those two nuts, which gave me a lot more access. So hopefully now I'll be able to take it out. Camera's out. Now I'm gonna remove all this existing connection from the camera. Here I'm gonna just cut those two off. Yeah. And I'm gonna need to find which one's positive, which one's negative. Okay, so that's connected. Now I'm gonna push wire through the grommet. It's gonna be secured like this. Again, as you can see, versus being here, now here, center is here, so at least a bit closer to the middle. Now I'm gonna push this through the grommet. That definitely wasn't easy, but most of it is done now. As you can see, now there is a hole. I think I'll probably add some silicone there just to make sure water is not getting through. That's how it looks on this side. I'm gonna put zip tie here as well. Looks good. I quickly connected this to make sure and camera is working. Now I'm gonna secure all nuts, tighten the ones that were loosened and install the ones that I removed. All nuts secured. Now I'm gonna have to find a little bit different routing. Good thing I left a lot of excess wiring, so I'll just have to have the connection actually somewhere here because it's now a bit shorter. Now I'm gonna check the view. That looks awesome. Like before, now you can see pretty much everything. Alright, everything's good here. Now I'm gonna put in that big trim piece back on. Put those two in. Finally this one. I'm gonna do some research later on what to do here. I might just put LED bulb because I don't think I'll be able to find something like this without the camera. If I will find a good compatible LED bulb, tag light bulb, I'll put Amazon affiliate link at description of this video. And here I don't think I'll use silicone because in case I'll have to remove the camera in the future, it'll be tougher to remove. Just because I put zip tie on the other side, I don't think water or anything else really gonna get through, so I'll leave it like that for now. I'm gonna conclude this video here. Overall, I'm very happy with this backup camera location, closer to the center, and it's more upright. I can actually see the back much better than with this setup. What I'm not done with is finding a good solution for this tag light. I ordered another LED bulb and it was a bit too blue, not same as this. So one thing I'm gonna try to do, and it's gonna be in future videos, is I'll try to get just this housing without the camera through other websites. It's a bit cheaper, and maybe I'll JB weld or something this opening, so that way this and this light would be identical. I was able to get the backup camera work while driving forward. TA's customer service was very helpful with that. I had to do factory reset of the radio and then activate the software. And what's also nice is with latest update of the stereo software, if you plug in USB drive, my understanding is the backup camera footage will always be recording to that drive, including loop recording, meaning old files will be overwritten with new files if there is not enough storage. And actually, I think this camera is pretty good quality-wise. I think maybe the housing broke on the previous one, because when I was using that bracket, I had to squish that bracket back and forth, and I think it messed up with the casing on that other camera. So far, this camera is pretty sturdy and no issues at all. Next in this series is going to be installation of aftermarket speakers, which will include front and rear door speakers as well as tweeters. I'll provide Amazon affiliate links for products and tools I used to get this job done. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to reply as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. See you next time.